How did you make contact with WWF? Did they contact you, or did you contact them?
World Class was dead. Jarrett, the USWA was virtually dead, and they were pulling out and we'll go back to Tennessee. And the territory was dead. And I had my car repossessed. The only work I had was Chris Adams was running some little shows on his own here and there, and he always made sure that I was on all his shows. But I had 2 little kids and a wife, and we were hurting pretty bad. So I made up my mind that we were going to move back to home. When I say home is Mobile, Alabama. And we were going to move back home, and I was going to get out of the business and go back to the funeral business full time. And so I called Rick Rue. Rick Rue was working for Vince. And I called Rick and told him what my plans were. And he goes, "Oh, no, Percy, don't do that. Just hang on. Just don't make any rash decisions, and I'll get back with you." So later, it was the same day, several hours later, the same day, he called back and said, "You got a pencil?" "Yeah, write this number down." So I wrote her number down. And I said, "What is this?" He goes, "This is Vince McMahon's home number. He wants you to call him." And I hung up the phone and looked at my wife. She goes, "What's wrong with you? You're white." This is Vince McMahon's home number. I'm supposed to call him. So I did, Mr. McMahon, hello. Oh, fuck. Scared the shit out of me. "Mr. McMahon, this is Percy." I remember the first words he ever said to me, he goes, "Where have you been all my life?" Please. He knew where I was, right in Dallas, Texas. He knew what was going on there. And he said, "Well, I'm interested in talking to you." And a nice, cordial conversation. And it was right before Christmas. And it just stands out in my mind because my wife and I's anniversary is December 22nd. So it's right at Christmas time. And this was on like December, maybe the 20th. And
what year was that, 89? 90.
90. December the 20th. See, Undertaker debuted in November 90 at Survivor Series.
Yeah, he was in WCW in 90 with Mean Mark. I remember. Okay.
So it was December the 21st, no, December 20th, 1990, this conversation happened. He said, "Well, after the holidays, I think we'll just fly you up to Stanford and we'll talk, and maybe we can work something out." "Yes, sir," and we hung up. The next day, the phone rings, Pat Patterson. Vince changed his mind. He wants to know if you can come up today. And this is December 21st. And, "Yeah, hell yeah, what am I going to say, no?" He says, "Well, we got your tickets at DFW, they're paid for, you just and come on down." And I flew into, this is so ironic, I flew into JFK today to do this interview here this evening. And I remember flying into JFK that night in 1990. And I felt like the Beverly Hillbillies, arriving in California for the first time. It was like, I got off the plane, there's a guy there in a suit with my name on a card, a limousine waiting for me and shit. And I piled my ass in that limousine. And, New York City! It was, and off to Stanford we went, the first class hotel in Stanford. And Pat Patterson calls, says, "Percy, sign for anything you want to drink, anything you want to eat, whatever you want, you just fucking sign it. It's all in courtesy, Vince will meet with you in the morning." So that I did. And Pat picked me up the next morning, which would have been the morning of December 22nd.
Did you know Pat before this or no?
No, I didn't. I'm just, oh my God, Pat Patterson. Jesus Christ. So we go to the old Titan Towers before they built the new ones. They moved to the new building, and I met the big boardroom, big table. I sat at the table with J.J. Dillon, Pat Patterson, Vince McMahon, myself. I came very well prepared. I had some. I found out later I didn't need to do it, but trying to be the professional I've always tried to be, I had a demo tape of some of the stuff I thought was my best stuff that I've done through the years, and to bring, and a resume all typed up and everything. And we sat around and talked, and I'll just never forget another moment, where I can remember like it was yesterday. Vince looks at the resume, and he goes, glasses on, and goes, "No, if you've seen Vince."
Right.
He goes, looks at Pat Patterson, looks at J.J. Dillon, and goes, "He is a real mortician." just like that. And I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't, But they started laughing like hell. Ha ha ha! You know, ho 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 ho. Vince was laughing and shit. And Pat Patterson, hee hee hee. No, he didn't really do that. I had to throw that in. Just for Pat. I love you, Pat. He knows it. But and JJ, they all, and I was wondering, what the hell are they fucking laughing at? This was the most serious point in my damn life, you know. Here's my chance to make it to the big time. They're laughing at me because I'm a damn Undertaker. I didn't have a fucking clue. Didn't even know, you know. Anyway, and they didn't smart me up to that either. We ended up, and Vince, Pat and JJ left. It ended up being just me and Vince. Vince stuck my tape into the thing there, and here I am sitting with Vince McMahon watching Percy Pringle on the TV. Oh my God. Well, anyway, long story short, Pat came back with a manila envelope and handed it to me and goes, here's your contract. Vince says, take it home, let your lawyers read it, and sign it, send it back. And as soon as we get it back, you'll start getting a check every week.
Wow.
And like I went back and let the lawyer read it. Shit. I signed the damn thing on the plane and went back to Dallas. The lawyer never even seen the damn thing. Signed the contract, I sent it back, and in a couple of weeks I started getting checks. So, and I remember that it was on December 22nd. I remember that because, like I said, that was me and my wife's anniversary, so I can't forget that day. Anyway, so about 2 or 3 weeks later, the phone rang, and it was J.J. Dillon. Well, we decided what we're going to do with you. Vince wants you to make your hair, of course, I had the bleach blonde hair like Bobby Heenan all those years. He wants your hair black, coal black, and your mustache and your eyebrows. You're going to dress in a black suit and everything, and we're going to call you Paul Bearer, and you're going to be the Undertaker's manager. Paul Bearer. And it was just so different from what I was used to all those years. And I didn't like the thought of it all, especially when I dyed my hair, because I had that blonde hair for so many years. I'm a natural blonde anyway, but not anymore. Because if you look close, you can see the gray. But I was born a blonde. I was always a blonde, but I bleached it for all those years. Huh. So when we made it black, and I looked in the mirror for the first time, I told myself, "This is not me." Huh. This thing, I hated it. I hated the gimmick. I didn't like it at all. So I debuted with the Undertaker in January of 1991. Our first TV was in Macon, Georgia, for the first time, and there were some really funny incidents there because he wore the big, he still does, wears the big long coat, and the hat and shit. And I was so scared I was going to get out at the ring and fuck something up, because he had to take his coat off, like I'd done all those years, and his hat and shit. So here we were backstage, me practicing taking the Undertaker's coat on and off. I must have done it 25 times. I said, Mark, let me do it one more time. Huh. And you got to remember, I managed Mark early in his career, so we already knew each other, So he stood there and let me take his coat on and off, on and off, on and off. So we finally got out in the middle of the ring, TV's on. We taped everything pre-taped in those days.
How long was he doing TVs before you were his manager? Not too long, like 2 months, right?
Like I said, it started in November 1990, and I was on the road with him January 91. Right. So it was just a matter of
So he was pretty green to the amateur.
So he was all knew that too. He was with Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard for a brief time there. And I remember the first TV, when I took his coat off and took his hat for the first time, I stepped to the ring. And that's back when they used to do the enhancement talent. Every match was a job match. You know? They'd bring somebody in, 1, 2, 3. So I took his hat, took his coat, stepped through the ropes. I'm standing on the apron. And this job guy, I can't remember, I don't know who he was wrestling. I guess I could go back and look at the tape because I still have it. But whoever it was decided they was going to hit the damn ropes. So I'm standing on the apron with the Undertaker's hat and coat. The job guy hit the ropes, knocked me off the fucking apron onto the floor. My first show with the WWF, I land on my ass on the floor. Of course.
It's the only time you probably ever did
that. Thank God. No, I don't know. I was on my ass many times during those. That was 14 years there. But that's how the Undertaker Paul Bearer thing started. And it was just a happening. I talked to her about things that are meant to be. It was just meant to be. And like I said, at first I hated the gimmick so much, but I think that when I got my first paycheck, I started liking it. And every check that came, I started liking Paul Bearer a little bit more and a little bit more. And man, what a run that we had all those years with that gimmick.